Good morning, everyone. My name is Vishwas. So today we are going to study about different types of solutions. I hope you have seen the previous video. If you have not seen, just go and see the last video that I have posted in order to understand about the previous concepts, because without that you can't move further in the chapter, right? Okay. Now let's start with the topic for today, that is different types of solutions. First type of solution is dilute. What do you mean by dilute? A solution in which the concentration of the solute is much less than that of the solvent. जिसमें solute की concentration बहुत कम होती है या solvent से कम होती है. Basically what we say is known as dilute. Solute हमेशा solvent से कम ही होता है, right? So that is known as dilute. For example, if we mix 1 gram of salt in 500 ml of water, so what will happen? This what we call as salt solution, but we can also call it as dilute solution, right? If we keep on adding the solute in a solution, there comes a point where no more solute can be dissolved. For example, let's take one more example from our day-to-day life. Take a glass of water, add 1 teaspoon of sugar into it and try to dissolve it. It will be dissolved easily. Then pour 1 teaspoon or add 1 teaspoon of sugar again to that solution and try to dissolve it again. Do this till the solute or the sugar is getting dissolved into it. The last point up to which that solute is dissolved in the solution, that is known as saturation point or point of saturation of the solution. मतलब जहाँ तक वो शुगर डिसॉल्व हो पा रही है, आप वहाँ तक कर रहे हैं, तो वो उसके बाद एक लेवल आ जाएगा, उसके बाद शुगर डिसॉल्व होना बंद कर देगी. दैट पॉइंट इज नोन एज saturation point. Now, unsaturated solution. A solution in which we can add more amount of solute as it has not achieved its saturation level yet. So I'm repeating again, a solution in which we can add more amount of solute at it has not achieved its saturation level yet. मतलब हम इसमें ऐसा solution जिसमें अभी हम और solute dissolve कर सकते हैं, that is known as unsaturated solution. A dilute solution can be called as unsaturated solution, right? Okay, next is concentrated solution. Concentrated solution means in which a large amount of solute is present, solvent is present, a solution in which a large amount of solvent is present as compared to solute is known as a concentrated solution. That means अगर solvent ज़्यादा amount में है और solute कम amount में है, that is a concentrated solution. Sugar saturated solution now. What do you mean by a saturated solution? Is a solution in which no more solute can be added since it has already dissolved the maximum amount of solute. तो ऐसा solution जिसके अंदर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा ऑलरेडी हम सल्यूट ऐड कर चुके हैं और इससे ज़्यादा आगे सल्यूट ऐड नहीं हो पाएगा, दैट इज नोन एज सैचुरेटेड सॉल्यूशन. जैसे मैंने अभी आपको एग्जांपल दिया of that sugar in water. So what will happen in this case is शुगर आपने इतने लेवल तक एक्सटेंड कर दिया, वो वाटर की कैपेसिटी नहीं है और शुगर को डिसॉल्व करने की, दैट इज नोन एज सैचुरेटेड सॉल्यूशन. सी this is dilute or weak and unsaturated solution. This is concentrated strong because in this more solute has been added, and this is known as saturated solution. That is the maximum amount of solute that we can add, we have added, right? This is we are adding copper sulfate into water. See the color change. This is dilute copper sulfate solution. This is concentrated and this is saturated. Now, what is concentration? Concentration to the refers to the amount of a substance per defined space, or can be defined as the ratio of solute in a solution to either solvent or total solution. Let's make it very simple. Concentration is basically how much is the amount of substance you are adding in the solvent, right? Okay. If the amount of solute is more, then it is more concentrated. If the amount of solute will be less, it is less concentrated. For example, let's take an example of an acid HCl. If you are adding acid in water in small amount, that is known as dilute. And if you are adding acid in large amount in water, then it is known as concentrated. Okay. Next is percentage by mass. So the formula for percentage is, as you all know, you have find it out the percentage, a percentage of mass of solute upon mass of solution into 100. अगर हमें percentage mass of solute निकालना है तो हमें क्या करना है, mass of solute upon mass of solution into 100. That is uh, the result we got it as, that will be the percentage by mass. Percentage of volume is volume of solute upon volume of solution into 100, and molarity is number of moles of solute upon volume of solution in liters only, where moles of solute is so given mass upon molar mass. These things we are going to study in our next class, not in this. So molarity and molality is also in these topics we are going to study in our next class. Normality also. These are basically the formulas and topics of class 11th, but I have provided to you. So in order to make your concept quite clear, yeah, few examples of formulas. So ppm is there in your syllabus. That is parts per million, and the formula for that is mass of solute divided by mass of solvent into 10 raised power 6. So mass of fraction of solute, moles of solute upon total moles of solution. Similarly, for solvent is moles of solvent upon total moles of solution. Right. So mole fraction of solute plus mole fraction of solvent, the ratio will be equal to 1. Okay. Now moving on to the next topic, that is what is suspension. A suspension is formed when two or more substances are mixed in a non-uniform manner. Right. So सस्पेंशन मीन्स कोई चीज़ प्रॉपरली मिक्स ना हुई हो. तो जैसे दो या दो से ज़्यादा सब्सटेंसेस, हम सैंड एंड वाटर का एग्जांपल ले लेते हैं, वो प्रॉपरली मिक्स नहीं होते कभी. तो सैंड क्या है, ऊपर सस्पेंडेड रह जाती है कई बारी. राइट, दैट इज नोन एज suspension. Right, heterogeneous mixtures are suspensions. The solute does not mix with the solvent and can be viewed with naked eyes. तो ये properly mix नहीं होता, तो आप इसे normal human eyes से देख भी सकते हैं. You don't need a microscope for this. So properties of suspension. What are the properties? ये heterogeneous mixture होते हैं. Secondly, the particles of suspension can be seen through naked eyes, and the path of light is also visible in case of suspension. Right. Okay. Last but not the least, the particles of suspension tends to settle down when left undisturbed. जब इसे आप थोड़े टाइम के लिए undisturbed रख देंगे on a side, then these particles will settle down, and you can separate it by the physical processes like filtration also. Now next is, what are colloids or colloidal solutions? This is again very important topic. A colloidal solution or a colloid is a uniform solution of two or more substances. The particles are relatively very small, that the solution appears as a homogeneous mixture, but it is not. In this case, colloids के particles are quite small, but it appears to be homogeneous. Actually, it is not a homogeneous mixture, it is a heterogeneous mixture. So properties of colloids is, colloids are heterogeneous. The particles of colloid cannot be seen with the naked eyes. बहुत छोटे होते हैं. I will let you know by an example. The particles scatter a beam of light, pass through a colloid, and produce Tyndall effect. Like I have already explained you, or you might have studied in class 8 about the Tyndall effect. When the sunlight come from the window of your house, what will you observe? There are some dust particles that you can observe, or it is visible in case of that light rays. So that is known as basically Tyndall effect, and those particles we can call as colloid particles, right? So colloids are stable in nature. The particles of colloids do not settle down if left uninterrupted. So you can see that those particles are not settling down on their own, and whether they are left uninterrupted or not. So when we cannot separate the particles of a colloid through filtration, we use a method called centrifugation. So in this case, we have to use a centrifugation method to separate the particles of colloid. What is the centrifugation method? We will study in the same video only. Uh, it's the upcoming topic. See this. In case of solution, you can able to see, you cannot able to visualize the flashlight, and in case of colloid, it's visible. In case of suspension, you can observe it seems like this, as shown in the figure. What is Tyndall effect now? It's quite important. See this, these kind of things I was talking about. When a beam of light is passed through a colloid, the particles of colloid scatter the beam of light, and we can see the path of light in the solution. So yeah, you can able to see in the first and second figure the path of light. For example, when a ray of light enters a dark room, it's scattered by the dust particles present. You can see in the first figure only, the ray of light gets scattered, right? Why it is getting scattered? There should be some object. It is scattered by the dust particles which are present in the air. That is a colloidal particles. So classification of colloids. The dispersed particles or the solute-like components in a colloid is known as dispersed phase. And dispersing medium is the substance in which these solute-like particles are added. So in Hindi I am going to explain it. Dispersed phase ऐसा phase होता है जिसमें particles जो हैं components के वो पड़े होते हैं. And dispersing medium is that medium, the substance in which these solute particles are added, जिसमें हम इनको add कर रहे हैं. Based on the state of the dispersing medium, colloids are classified as. तो colloids को हम classify कैसे करते हैं? Let's see. This is a table. Try to understand this table. Example: fog aerosol sprays. So dispersing medium fog aerosol sprays, मतलब आपके deodorants की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग. डिस्पर्सिंग मीडियम इज गैस. सो ये जब बाहर आते हैं तो गैशियस फॉर्म में होते हैं. डिस्पर्स सब्सटेंस किसके थ्रू डिस्पर्स होते हैं? ये प्रेजेंट इसमें होते हैं लिक्विड में. और कोलाइड टाइप क्या है? इसे हम एरोसोल कहते हैं, राइट. स्मोक एयरबॉर्न बैक्टीरिया. अगेन ये इनका डिस्पर्सिंग मीडियम क्या है? गैस. एंड व्हाट इज द डिस्पर्स फेज? इट्स लिक्विड. एंड व्हाट इज द कोलाइडल टाइप? अगेन एरोसोल. देन वेम क्रीम और सोप सट्स. अब क्रीम की ही हम बात कर रहे हैं बेसिकली. सो अब क्रीम कब निकलती है? दूध के अंदर से. एंड दूध क्या है? इट्स अ लिक्विड मीडियम, मिल्क, राइट. सो डिस्पर्स सब्सटेंस क्या है? गैस. And what is colloidal type? It's a kind of foam or the upper layer which is formed because it gets react with the substances which is present in the gas. So colloidal type is foam. So milk or mayonnaise. Mayonnaise, yeah. So it's a kind of white sauce. You might have tasted it at your home along with your momos and something. So don't worry, let's get back to the topic, milk and mayonnaise. So dispersing phase, again liquid, substance again liquid, because milk is in liquid form only and mayonnaise is also. So it's a kind of emulsion. Paint, glaze, gelatin. So dispersing medium is liquid, dispersed substance is solid, and colloidal type is solid. So try to go through all this, and if there will be any doubt you can contact me. And there are three more left. Let's explain those also. Marshmallow. Marshmallow, you know what it is. So it's a kind of solid, and dispersed phase in this case is gas, and colloidal type is solid form. So butter and cheese, when we talk about, it's again solid, but dispersed phase they both are liquid first of all, and it's a kind of solid emulsion. जब ये बनने के बाद किस फॉर्म में आते हैं? सॉलिड पार्टिकल्स की फॉर्म में आते हैं. So ruby glass, it's again a solid. Disperse phase is also solid, और ये solid सोल, मतलब इन्हें हम liquefy कर सकते हैं, but ये again solid form में ही पाए जाएंगे. How to separate component of a mixture? We can separate the heterogeneous components into their constituent by means of the physical processes like filtration, hand picking, or swinging. The components of a mixture can be separated from each other using several other techniques like evaporation, centrifugation, sublimation, chromatography, and distillation. Like you have separate salt from seawater, right? So when you are going to separate salt from seawater, then you have to evaporate the water and the salt will be left behind, right? So let's see the process of evaporation in this case. Evaporation, as you all know, it's a for separating a mixture of a non-volatile and a volatile substance. The process of conversion of liquid from liquid to gaseous state at any temperature below its boiling point. अब इस पूरी डेफिनेशन का मतलब क्या है? वोलेटाइल और नॉन वोलेटाइल सबसे पहले इनका मतलब है कि एक जो जल्दी इवेपोरेट होने वाला है, मतलब जिसका मेल्टिंग पॉइंट और बॉइलिंग पॉइंट कम है, और एक जिसका मेल्टिंग पॉइंट और बॉइलिंग पॉइंट ज़्यादा है. ओके, सो द प्रोसेस ऑफ कन्वर्जन ऑफ लिक्विड फ्रॉम लिक्विड टू गैसेस स्टेट एट एनी टेम्परेचर. वाटर है जैसे, इसका मेल्टिंग और बॉइलिंग पॉइंट 100 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड है एंड सॉल्ट माइट भी उसका ज़्यादा हो. सो व्हाट विल हैपन कि वाटर पहले इवेपोरेट हो जाएगा और सॉल्ट वहीं पड़ा रहेगा, राइट? By absorbing the heat from the surroundings is called evaporation. So in this case, in the case of evaporation, what happens is when you keep salt in water and you want to separate out that salt, or take the sea water only, when you try to separate salt from sea water, what will happen? You have to evaporate the water, and that evaporation is basically the conversion of liquid to gaseous state at any temperature. किसी भी टेम्परेचर पे वो लिक्विड इवेपोरेट हो सकता है बिलो इट्स बॉइलिंग पॉइंट, राइट? यू नो नीड टू बॉयल इट, उसे बस हीट सप्लाई करना है या उस सराउंडिंग से अपने आप हीट लेगा और इवेपोरेट हो जाएगा. So this process is known as evaporation. See this. This is the process. We are having a bowl, and in that bowl we are supplying some heat from Bunsen burner, and what will we are going to keep in that bowl is salt and water. What will happen? The water will evaporate and is left behind. Applications: separating color component from milk. Salt from water, sugar from water. What is the method? Mix some ink into water and heat it. After some time, the water will evaporate, leaving behind the colored substance. So today we are going to study it here only, the process of evaporation, centrifugation, and the other processes we are going to study in the next video. So kindly subscribe the channel for more updates. Hit the bell icon and stay safe, stay at home, be at your place, help your parents. Thank you and have a nice